On the other side, you always have that like competitive edge to you, and you sort of think, if that last pass had been right, if that last, dummy inside and shot had been the right one, you're always left with that half taste of missed opportunity. So the game against PSG, we started in a 3-5-2, where we'd got Yvan Diouf in goal. We'd got Andrew Gravillon as right centre-half, Manu Agbadou central, and then our captain, Younis Abdelhamid, as left centre-back. And then holding midfielder, we've got Azor Matusiwa, who's a Dutch, or was a Dutch youth international. Right wing-back, we've got Alexis Flips. Left wing-back, we've got Bradley Loco. And then our two number 8s or infiltration players were Lopi and Marshall Munetsi. And then we were playing with a sort of a second striker who was just playing off the main striker, who was Arba Zeneli. And then our main striker was Balogun, who's on loan from Arsenal. And then for PSG, they'd got Gigi Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, Marquinhos, Danilo, Mukiele was playing right wing back, Bernat was playing left wing back. Centre midfielders were Verratti and Fabian Ruiz. Striker was Kylian Mbappe, and they've got Sarabia and Soler just in support in a 3-4-3. So we actually got quite lucky that Messi and Neymar and probably Achraf Hakimi, who would have played right. Messi wasn't in the squad. Neymar and Hakimi were benched for that game. My plan from the start of the week was basically not to sit back, because I didn't want to be defending on the edge of our box for 96 minutes and to just concede wave after wave after wave after wave. So from the sort of start of the week, we were clear in the communication that we were, getting towards the players was, we're going to go and get them. We're going to go and press them. We don't want them to play out. We don't want them to, have a nice evening in Reims on a Saturday night. We really want to disturb what they want to do to us. And it's pretty much what we did. We knew that their shape varies, so they set up in a 3-4-3, but actually when they build up, Marquinhos pops into midfield, so it actually becomes a 4-3-3, which was easier for us to press. But yeah, the intention from the off was, we're not going to sit back, because if you sit back, the longer we sit back, we are going to concede, because they've got so much quality. We didn't know, obviously, that Messi and Neymar weren't going to play, but it didn't really change, because Sarabia and Soler, they've all got unbelievable individual quality. And Mbappe is capable of scoring from nothing, basically. So yeah, we just wanted to make it as difficult as we could for them and make sure that they weren't just bopping it around and attacking. And it worked. It worked really well, actually, to be fair. If the ball was with Donnarumma, we knew that their centre-backs or centre-halves split and that Marquinhos drops into midfield. So our two strikers had to go and basically man-man their two centre-backs. Our midfield would then come out of shape and we'd basically go man-man everywhere. And our wing-backs would take their full-back/wing-backs. And the role of these two strikers, so we've got Zinedine and Balo playing up front. We wanted them to play out. So we wanted them to hit these sides so that we could protect inside. And as soon as they played outside, we'd force them out. So if the ball came to Ramos, who was here, Arba would come and close in, and Balo would close the return pass either to the keeper or to the other centre-half. And then that was our trigger to press. So we'd got our wing-back who was sort of waiting inside, protecting the pass to whoever it was, Soler or Sarabia. And he was waiting inside. And as soon as that ball was underway, then we'd press, and it was basically man-man everywhere else. And we'd close one passing line backwards. And the role, or the key role in that, was our opposite wing-back, where we knew the danger of Mbappe and Sarabia together, and the pace, especially that Mbappe has. And if we were late pressing this pass, we knew that it was going to go deep, so we had to have an extra man and go +1 behind. So it was just a simple, we close inside, let them play outside, and as soon as it goes outside, we're basically using the touchline as an extra defender or an extra player to press. And it worked because they just got stuck every time, and they tried to play inside, but there was obviously a man-man situation or a +1 situation with the opposite wing-back. So they kept playing inside, and we just won it back and were able to play forward really quickly. And that's what we wanted. We wanted them to play, or try to play through us. And as soon as they played outside, they got stuck and had to start again, and it allowed us to keep pressing up and pressing up and pressing up. And basically what I said was, the higher we stay, the less danger we're going to have going that way. And that's what we did. And every time they built up from the back, the game was basically spent a majority of the time sort of in this area, because we didn't want them playing higher up the pitch. So we'd always have +1 or +2 with him, and they kept on playing into us. We didn't want to drop too low, so we were sort of in a medium compact block, again protecting everything inside. So these wing backs would always protect the line to their 3 forwards, and we'd always got +1 with our holding midfielder. So we'd got overload midfield, man behind, and they'd got +1 in defence. But it didn't really matter to us because we were waiting for them. And as soon as a ball would get played, either from the central defender, which was Marquinhos, or the keeper, to one of these two outside, it would get played, and we'd press, and again press, and it was always the ball outside. And we knew that we'd always got +2, so we'd got an overload with him, and he was able to protect these forward passes inside to their 3 strikers, and we'd always got the wing back that was protecting inside. And again, the number of times where we were just waiting for them in a high block or in a medium high block, but always with the clear intention of, we want to press that way and we want to force you to come into us using these extra players. And then we were able to transition really quickly going forward. So it was just all the time trying to create a +1 or a +2 overload in whatever the situation was. And if the ball came to the side, then it was a side run. If a striker was dropping in, or if it was Soler or Sarabia dropping in, then it didn't really matter because we'd got an overload or a man extra midfield. And they never, apart from the first sort of 2 minutes where we got a bit stuck and a bit emotional about the whole occasion, they didn't actually create that much against us. So I'd say the defensive part was pretty clear and pretty obvious for our players, which I really wanted. And we stuck to the plan really well, forcing them outside, expecting them to try and play through the middle because they'd got, sort of 5 players in the central area. And we managed to deal with it without any major problems. We knew that a large number of chances that we'd create would come from these transitions after high press. But again, I broke it down and I tried to make it as difficult as I could for PSG to defend. And instead of building up with 3, which we could have done, but probably wouldn't have worked as well, we just went with 4. So our right centre half, who's got an ideal profile to sort of play right back, dropped wide. We've got other 2 centrals playing in there, and our left wing back dropped even deeper. And this is where Arba, the second striker, comes left and is almost playing touchline football, and our right wing back was also playing touchline football. So these 3 in front, who were expecting to press just against our 3 centre halves, then couldn't because we were with 4 and we'd got an extra man midfield. And they were basically 3 against 1 for nothing. And they'd got Ramos and Danilo who weren't doing anything. And that was the role of our 2 wing-backs. We wanted to, wing-back and second striker. We wanted to stretch them as much as we could so that we'd get a 4v3 with these three strikers and even a 5v3 with our keeper. We'd got an overload midfield, and so the first ball was either centre half, right back or left back. We knew they were going to press and get across, but we also knew we'd got a man extra midfield. So we'd got three clear options. It was ball to feet in here for a third man layoff, only if he's free, and then we were going to go and play deep. If we've got time and we're not under pressure, we can play inside, but only if that inside pass wasn't a risk and he wasn't under pressure from one of these three. Or it was a channel ball for Ballo, who's really good at running channels, into there, from there. And it was just trying to create an overload where we could create an overload and not lose the ball too quickly, because their press is unbelievable and they managed to sort of stuff you out as soon as possible. But they did struggle against that overload here, and especially Ramos and Danilo. They could have just pushed the wing-backs up, which would have stopped us completely. But we knew that Ramos and Danilo playing that far apart wasn't their most comfortable option. So that's what we did. We stretched them as much as we could, created an overload where we could, and again, we'd always got that man extra in midfield. Arba Zenili had got a totally free role, and I said, if you want to cause Ramos a problem, then run away from him, okay, because he doesn't like dropping in or coming outside. And I wanted him to either create an extra overload inside and pick up balls between these lines here, because he doesn't like stepping out, and he didn't like stepping out, and they didn't like coming to the side. So I think the ball is from Yunis. It gets played, I think, to our free man, and then gets played to Arba, who picks it up between the lines, is running towards goal, and just gets clipped from behind. I think it's from their midfield player. I'm pretty sure it's Verratti that clips him. And the foul is more or less in that area there. Referee blew a foul, Arba was on the floor, and then they just crowded out the referee, and Ramos lost it. He said something, he got a first warning with a booking, and then he kept on going and kept on going, and then the referee just pulled out a straight red. So he was off, and then we'd got an extra, we'd almost got a total overload. But PSG being PSG, they have enormous qualities, and they made it as difficult as they could for us from that point on. He bought Verratti off, and they played a 4-2-3 or a 4-3-2 with Soler dropping in midfield, and that wasn't causing us any problems. And then he brought Neymar on, but they started playing a diamond in midfield, and that really caused us a problem with Mbappe playing as high as he could. And as soon as they started playing this diamond in midfield, then we were in trouble, because they'd got an overload in midfield. And with the quality that they've got, we were lost for about 5 or 10 minutes. And it was difficult to see, because we thought, okay, he's going to bring Neymar on, so they're going to play Neymar and Mbappe up front. But Neymar had a totally free role and was dropping into this awkward shape, because it wasn't quite a diamond. It was like Neymar was dropping left-hand side, and then it was a square diamond in midfield that really caused us problems. And that happened, and we tried to, go 4 by saying, okay, you're going to step up, and we're going to play 4 like that. And then Arba, you're going to play on 10 in here to try and protect that overload inside. But it wasn't really working. The message wasn't clear enough from me. So we changed as well, and we played a 4-2-3-1. We brought Mitch van Bergen on left. We took Alexis Flips off, and then we played a proper 4-2-3-1. And it looked like that. And then basically the message was, again, protect inside. So our 2 wingers were protecting inside, so we didn't want them to combine in this midfield. And as soon as the ball got played, so imagine the ball gets played to this fullback, we press, Ballo comes over and cuts the return off, and then the opposite winger comes inside, and we've always got almost a +2 or 3 like that, which helped us a lot because we then got more control of midfield, but we just weren't able to. It just didn't quite happen for us going forward. We kept winning the ball back, and then our final pass, when we were getting into these zones in here, our final pass or our final touch or our final decision making was rushed, and we were sort of thinking, oh, I've got an opportunity, something's got to happen. It was like, no. Now's the time to relax. Now's the time that we get our heads as clear as possible and make the right choices when we're winning the ball backs where we want to win them back. Because we won so many balls back in this sort of midfield area after that. I think we had twice as many shots. Our balls recovered in opposition half were really interesting. The number of duels we won was really encouraging for the sort of next step of what we were going to do, because this was my more or less first game in charge as Reims coach, and it just sort of set the tone to what we want to do and the team that we want to be. You know, we want to frustrate teams. We want to press forward. We want to spend the majority of our time in this area of the pitch because we've got individual talent in our team. So frustrating PSG to that extent, and probably pushing Ramos into getting sent off, was a satisfaction. And being the only team this season who hasn't conceded a goal against PSG was 100%, a huge satisfaction. But on the other side, you always have that like competitive edge to you, and you sort of think, if that last pass had been right, if that last dummy inside and shot had been the right one, or had we crossed that ball instead of passed it into no one, you're always left with that half taste of missed opportunity.